The overall goal here with the Doge team is to help address the enormous deficit. We simply cannot sustain a country $2 trillion deficits. Just the interest on the national debt now exceeds the Defense Department spending. We spend a lot on the Defense Department, but we're spending like over $1 trillion on interest. If this continues, the country will become de facto bankrupt. It's not an optional thing; it is an essential thing. That's the reason I'm here. And taking a lot of plaque and getting a lot of death threats, by the way. I mean, I like to stack them up, but if we don't do this, America will go bankrupt. That's why it has to be done. I'm confident at this point, knock on wood, knock on my wooden head, let's go a lot of wood up there, that we can actually find $1 trillion in savings.
Wow. But to me, the takeaway from that, I think there's one thing. The reason I'm here is the interest on the debt. It's going to bankrupt the country.
Which all you have to do is have the Treasury issue the currency. You don't need the debt.
That tells you that that's right. That's not on the table. That's not on the table.
Right.
The debt, the interest on the money, borrowing your own money into existence, that's going to continue.
Right.
And he's telling you it's going to bankrupt the country, which is what the Treasury and the Fed itself is saying. You're on a fiscally unsustainable path. But they're the same as Musk. They're like, well, we just have to borrow money in existence and keep paying the parasites. And we're going to see a story in a couple of stories like what happens for countries that are borrowing their money into existence. It's a disaster.
Well, you've put the country in a debt trap because you want to radically re-engineer it.
Yeah. Right. You're using the flaw in your monetary system to benefit your crony insiders as a reason to put the thumb screws on Main Street.
Well, here's the thing. You've soaked out the 21 trillion plus, right?
Yeah.
You've soaked out what you can soak out on going direct.
Yeah.
The question is, what can you soak out now? You can soak out the data and give it to your AI, right?
Yeah.
And use it to pump the value of your companies. And you can soak out the land and the mineral resources, right?
You can sell stuff off, right?
Right. And that's what's left so they're grabbing the data. They want to leave the government in place because it's power.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
It's enforcement. It's control.
They like the sovereign powers. They like the functionality, but they don't like the transparency. They're just going to hive that off and going to farm that out to their buddies where there's no transparency. They have all the power with none of the transparency.
But you need the government run by corporate contractors, not civil service.